Hey everyone, it's John with KGTropicals.com here on our Independence Day edition of our weekly update video series. Got a whole bunch of things to talk about today. A couple of things from email and also some updates about what's going on in the store and stuff like that. First things first, as far as updating you on KGTropicals, we've done a couple of things that I believe have definitely upgraded the appearance of our store and things like that. And one of them has to do with the treatment we did to the windows in the front of the store that I'm really excited about, and I've been getting a lot of really good feedback on. If you've been to my Facebook page, you saw it because I put a picture of it up. I'm going to try to go ahead and insert a picture now. Maybe it went on, maybe it didn't. And so I can show you what we did. But basically what I did was I painted the inside of the windows blue, like an aqua blue. And then we took some photos of some fish here in the store, some of our favorites, some of the more common ones, and we had them blown up and printed out on vinyl and put them on the front glass of the store. Then we got sand printed out on vinyl and went across the bottom of it to try to kind of make the outside of the store look like an aquarium. It's really cool looking, been getting a lot of really good feedback on it. And there's been quite a few people. We're in King George. This is the country. People pass by, they see this store. It used to be an old auto parts store. They don't know what it is. And I've had a lot of people walk in the door and say, you know what, we didn't even know what this store was until you did that to the front windows. So definitely a cool thing we did there. Hopefully I can get the picture attached. If not, I'll put a link to it on the Facebook page in the description, and you can check it out. Real happy about the way that went down. Now, we've got big plans for the warehouse. I get so many questions. What's going on with the warehouse? We've got 80 tanks up and running out there. We've got a lot of fish in those. We're raising some fry in those tanks. But there's still a lot of work to be done out there. And the warehouse is really, it's kind of a construction zone. And we've got, as you know, since we moved in, we've got big plans for that place, but it just hasn't been something that we've been able to get done yet. It takes a lot of money, it takes a lot of time, but we'll get there. Maybe next week's update video, I'll do it from out there, and I'll at least show you what we've got going on so far. Now, the first thing that I want to talk about here when it comes to the hot topics of the day is the name of this series. I'm going to need your help on it, because I don't want to think up something cheesy. I think that this series is going to be fun. I think we're going to enjoy it, and it's going to be something that I'm going to look forward to doing every week. But I wanted to have a name. I want you guys to help me to come up with a name for this series. I'm not even going to give you any suggestions. What do you think this should be called every week, so that when you subscribers, if you're not a subscriber yet, you better, you'll get an email that'll say KGTropicals has uploaded blah 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 blah. I need your help on coming up with the name of that. Put it in the comments section below. Don't flood me with emails. Just put it in the comments section of this video. I'll look through them. I'll pick the best one, and that's what we'll call this series. Now, a couple of hot button items here that I want to talk about. One of them is an email, and another one was not an email, but it was a customer comment here in the store. Let me say something first. I am not going to sit here and tell you that there is no one out there that knows more about fish keeping than me. That would be ridiculous. When I do these videos and I answer these emails and I share these stories with you, I am giving you John Hudson's opinion. I'm not telling you that it is the absolute fact. I'm telling you my opinion. Some of you may disagree. That's fine. But I'm giving you my opinion. So just understand that. I'm not going to sit here on my high horse, which I'm actually sitting on a little step stool, but I'm not going to sit on my high horse and claim to be the know-it-all when it comes to fish keeping. I've got a lot of experience. I've been doing this most of my life. I'll share with you what I know. If you disagree with it, that's fine. Now, this is an email I got a few weeks ago, and I've been wanting to talk about it on one of these update videos because it's something, it pertains to African cichlids. It's very common, and it's a question that I get a lot. It's from Russ. I'm not 100% sure where he's from. He asked, my cichlids have been flashing or rubbing on the decor and the rocks. Is this normal? The answer to that question is yes, it is normal. I see it all the time. Is it good? That's the question. Is it normal? Yes, but the question should be, what is it? I know I'm not making sense here, but African cichlids do this for two reasons. If they, when he's talking about flashing, he's talking about going to the bottom and turning sideways and rubbing their body up against the gravel or up against the rocks or something like that. If you're an African cichlid keeper, you've seen this. There's two things that can cause these fish to do this. One is absolute normal behavior. They're trying to rummage up the gravel so that maybe some particles of food come up so that they can eat, or scraping algae off of the side of rocks or whatever it is. If it's normal behavior, they're trying to eat. That's all it is. And it's nothing to be completely alarmed about. But if you see this happening a lot, and you see a lot of your fish doing this, then it could be a problem. Because flashing can be, it's not 100%, but it can be a sign of parasites. This could be one of your first, oh my goodness, I'm drawing a blank, symptoms of a parasite. Whew. If you see it happening a lot, and you see the fish doing it aggressively, and you see a lot of your fish doing it, you might want to go ahead and be proactive and treat for parasites, because it could develop into a major problem. I've had people email me or call me or come into the store because they saw one fish do it one time. It wasn't normal behavior, they'd never seen that before, and they were alarmed about it. They wanted to know, is that okay? If you see it happen once in a while, it's fine. It's basically the fish playing. But if you see it with a lot of your fish, and it's happening a lot, first things first, let's get that temperature up, let's put some salt in there, let's start treating for parasites. How you treat for parasites beyond that is up to you, but I would go ahead and get on the ball with that and get moving. Now, I'm glad I got through that one because that's one I've wanted to talk about for a while. Thank you, Russ, for sending that in. Now, the next topic might start some controversy. I don't want to call it controversy. I mean, I'm not JFK here, but get a little closer to the camera so I don't have to yell. Again, my opinion, all right? A customer was in the store, a friend of mine. He's become a friend because of the store. He's actually been to my home when we were selling fish out of the house, and he's been in the store many, many times. He was in here the other night, and he was considering buying an Angara flametail. And now that I've said that, if he's watching this, he knows I'm talking about him. I'm not going to say anything bad, don't worry. But he had made the comment, he was thinking about buying one of these Angaras, and he had made the comment, I think I'm going to go and do a little bit of research before I buy it. There's nothing wrong with that. But the reason why he wanted to do his research is because he had heard that they're a problem. I don't remember exactly what problem he said it was, whether they were too aggressive or they're finicky eaters or what, I don't remember what exactly it was that he said. And there's nothing wrong with that. I mean, hardcore aquarium hobbyists, aquarists, they're going to do that. That's part of the hobby. Researching and planning and making sure you're doing something right, that's part of the deal. That's part of the fun. So I don't begrudge him wanting to do that. He did end up buying the fish before he left that day, but he bought it because of the advice that I gave him. At least I like to think that he bought it because of the advice I gave him. I had said to him, hey, you know what? I've had every peacock. There's not a strain of peacock that I have not had, either in this tank or our 150 or whatever. I've had them all. And I've never known one to be different than the other. Now, the hot button controversial topic here is the fact that you've got people who go on forums or they do YouTube videos or whatever it is, and they say that a particular fish is mean. Now, with Africans, folks, particularly with peacocks, I'm talking about peacocks here, all right? I'm not talking about imbunas, I'm not talking about haps, I'm talking about peacocks. I don't know this to be true, okay? I don't know this to be true at all. I've had mean fish. I've had an example, the Chihuahua red shoulder. That was a disaster. I mean, he killed everything in the tank. We hated him. We ended up putting him in here, not for any reason other than, hey, you think you're bad, let me put you with the big boys and let's see what you can do. He's still in there. So he's fine now. But when he was in a tank with fish that were smaller than him, it was game on. And all he wanted to do was fight. So I've had an OB that was that way. If you do your research, folks, if you type in any strain of peacock, lemon jake, German red, Bengal yellow, firefish, it doesn't matter. You type it, there's gonna be posts on forums that are gonna say, it was the meanest fish ever. And if that makes you say, well, I don't want that fish then, because I read Billy Bob's post from Tennessee, no disrespect to Tennessee, it's just the first state that I thought of. I read Billy Bob's post and it said that firefish are mean, so I don't want one. It's ridiculous. It's the same kind of argument. I know I've made the dog analogy before, but it's the same thing that when like people talk about Rottweilers. They say, oh, Rottweilers are so mean, I'll never have one. No, they're not. I've had 2 of these dogs and they were like big teddy bears. These fish are no different. Well, okay, they're different, but their temperament and their behavior is no different than dogs. It's all based on the way, their environment, the way they're raised. If you put an Mbuna, I know I said we're talking about peacocks, but if you put a 5-inch Mbuna in a tank with a bunch of 1.5-inch peacocks, guess what's gonna happen? It's the environment. You have to have a strategy, and we'll talk about this in future videos. You have to have a strategy of how you're gonna put these fish in the tank. And you have to do it right. You don't put a bunch of 1.5-inch peacocks in with a 10-inch Venustus. Come on. I did it once. It didn't end pretty. It wasn't an 1.5-inch peacock. It was a gorgeous dragon blood that was about 3 inches that about 5 minutes later I found hanging out of his mouth. I was mad. We all do it, right? We all think it'll be okay, and then we make that mistake and the fish ends up dying. So back to the original point, I don't know any fish behavior when it comes to peacocks that's any different than any others. These all come from the same place, folks. They're basically the same fish, they're just different colors and all of that. I don't know one to be meaner than the other or one to be more finicky eating than others. You may have had one that behaved that way, and so it has ruined your opinion of that fish. That's fine, but it doesn't mean that they're all that way. Okay? If we went by that kind of logic, all human beings would be serial killers. Jeffrey Dahmer was one, so why doesn't that make us all serial killers? Just because one lemon jake or one Angara flametail you had was mean doesn't mean they're all mean. Am I going to get crap for making a Jeffrey Dahmer reference? I don't know. It was fun. It fit the conversation. So anyway, you may have bad luck. You may get a fish and it doesn't work in your setting. Or your friend may have gotten one and it didn't work in his. That doesn't mean that all of these peacocks are that way. I'm not going to keep saying the same thing over again. That's my opinion. All right? There's a bad seed once in a while. It happens. You move on, get another one, and that one probably won't be the same way. Okay, so that's it for today. I got to read through all these things. I'm not reading them, I'm just saying them. Got to get through all these things. Folks, please do me a favor. Reward me for the work and the time that I put into these videos. Go on our website. Check out what we have to offer on there. We're adding new things all the time. Please do that. Help me out here. I put a lot of time into this. Go on our Facebook page, click that like button, make some comments. Let's get some conversations going on there. Go on Instagram, KG_Tropicals. Lisa's on there. She does a fantastic job. Every time we get new fish in here, she takes pictures of them, puts them on there, interacts with the people. It's a lot of fun. It's not me on Instagram. It's Lisa. I gotta keep saying that because everybody asks me questions on Instagram. It's Lisa, it's not me. Twitter, @KGTropicals. I've only got like 70 followers. It's embarrassing. Come on, people. Let's have some fun on Twitter. I'll see you next week. I'm gonna do another video, maybe a couple videos in between here and next week, but I got a contest that I'm gonna do. I've always looked at YouTube contests as being kind of cheesy, but I think this is gonna be fun. I got a contest that I'm gonna talk about in the next video, maybe get a different backdrop for it. I'm excited about it. We're gonna have some fun with it, so look for that one. Please subscribe to the channel. You'll get these weekly updates, and don't forget, give me ideas in the comment section on what we should call this series. Thank you guys for watching. We'll see you next week.